Welcome back to the Ride and Laugh podcast. If you love mountain biking, you are in the right place. Picture your last really fun group ride. You're back at the parking lot. The stoke is high. Everyone's talking about the ride, trails, nutrition, bikes, tech. That's what we do every week here on the Ride and Laugh podcast. You love bikes. We love bikes. Let's drop in. Sage, how are you today?
Danny, what a week, man. We got shout outs, we got crashes, we got mechanicals, we got certs. Yo, I can't wait to get into it, brother. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. There is so much cool stuff happening. I am so excited to get into it and hear all about your past weekend and the ups and downs and lessons and progression and just so much awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. First question I have, it's inspired by Denny Janetti, who saw you at the end of your weekend.
Oh.
Didn't know that you were at Mountain Creek because you were not there for the bike park. You were there for, we will get into it, for instructional. And Dennis said that he gave you the sweatiest hug ever.
Oh, God.
And he thought that maybe that was the reason you didn't want to run a lap with him.
It might have been. It was so funny.
I mean, is there a protocol for how sweaty we are when you hug somebody, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes we're so sweaty that I'm like, I don't know that this is appropriate. I don't know that I want to hug this other person who's clearly sweaty. Like how high on the stoke meter does the stoke have to be that you're just like, we're sharing sweat anyway?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what?
It's got to be at least 8.5, 9.
Okay.
That's not a gift shop hug. That's like we just both did a massive drop for the first time hug. Right?
Yeah. You know what? In Dennis's defense, he did warn me beforehand because I went in for it. I went for the reach and he was like, hey,
that's important.
Yeah. Hey, I'm pretty sweaty. I don't know if you want this. You sure you want this? And I was like, oh, I want it.
Okay. And then how did you feel? Were you like immediately regretting it as you embraced?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that was a wrong move. Yeah. Denny.
You just shared DNA with him. You're like, oh, I think he's on my list. I think Dennis is on my list now. I have to disclose him to other people that I start dating. I did experiment with one guy in a gift shop. It was just look. It was a one-time thing. It was a one-time thing. I don't make this weird.
Baby, he meant nothing. He meant nothing.
Oh, Dennis is getting upset now.
Yeah. Oh, geez. I'm sorry, Denny. I loved it. It was fantastic.
Well, you were so happy to see him that you were like, bring it in, sweaty hug and all.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love you, Dennis.
That's a thing of beauty. That's a thing of beauty. All right. Well, I do want to hear all about your experience, but we did a quick rip last week, and that was because you were off getting your mountain bike coaching certification, which was a wild ride. I talked to you every day that you were getting that cert, and you went in with one preconceived notion about how it was going to go, and you left with a completely different perspective. And yeah, really kind of mind-blowing stuff. So that was why we had the quick rip out last week.
Yeah.
But we have two podcasts with excellent comments to review.
Yeah.
And so we'll dig into that a little bit. And then I really want to get into some questions about your coaching experience. But we are reviewing We Crash So You Don't Have to, mountain bike flow tips, e-bike debates, and crapping diamonds. Season 2, episode 9. And that is where we were talking about me riding at sunrise in those dusty conditions. And really, you pointed out, not only was I probably squeezing the seat post a little too much, but maybe just too tense.
Yeah.
Especially on that one crash that we replayed over and over. And Joe Mullins, who was on the ride with me.
Yeah.
And he wrote in, he commented, Dan, I didn't realize you were on the struggle bus out there, which I'm glad, because I was concerned that I was complaining too much about the dust.
That's right.
And I was trying to really just be in the flow. So I'm glad that I wasn't, outwardly low vibing everyone else. Yeah. And I was trying to have as much fun as I could.
Yeah.
But man, Joe is a mountain bike yogi. He wrote, it was certainly not the best conditions, but when in those situations, you have to look at the cup half full, and we know what we're doing, and not resist the features and terrain. It's an opportunity to get comfortable in different conditions. It's like when on a roller coaster and you're super rigid and trying to resist the forces, it's terrifying. But if you throw your hands in the air and trust the ride, it feels much smoother and fluid. It's always easier said than done. In the heat of the moment, every ride, we're learning something.
Yo,
I mean, he kind of hits it all there, right? That's the ride and laugh mantra.
Yeah. And you know what, he said it best right at the end there. You know, it's easier said than done. I think we've all been in that scenario. You know, maybe the weather isn't cooperating, you know, and it starts to rain or it had rain and you were expecting, you know, this, and now you're running into some mud or whatever. In your case, it was super dusty, you know, and one of the things that you had brought up in that pod was, you know, finding gratitude, you know, and it's something that we talk about all the time. And I struggle with this a lot. And when you say that, it always helps me, because it's like, okay, get your mind off of all the things that, you know, you were expecting or blah, 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 blah. And let's focus on what's in front of me. What's in front of me to be grateful for right now. And for you, it was, you're out on this trip with all these great friends, you know, and we're having a great time. And yeah, man, Joe, what a great guy, man. And super talented, by the way. Super talented. Oh my.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Joe walks the walk. This isn't just talk. Yeah. And when I talk to Joe, he is that guy. He is really grounded and he is living that life. And he's, you know, we've all been through our own trials in life, you know, but we're all starting right now. We all start over in every single moment. We have an opportunity to start over and be here right now. And when we get into the situations like, you know, where we're doing something that we love, we're out on a ride, we're doing something that we love, and we're resisting the situation. It's too hot. There's too much climbing. The trails are too dusty, you know, like, and then you're adding this anxiety. And so that you know, Joe saying what you and I talk about, the skills are in there. Trust, relax, find some gratitude, find something so that you can get into that flow state. Cause that's really what we're doing this for, is getting into that flow state.
Yeah.
And mountain biking just unlocks when you get in there.
You know, bad conditions is almost like alcohol, you know, in that, like, when you get into bad conditions, it's kind of like alcohol brings out the it like exacerbates or accentuates your worst personality or maybe your best personality. But like, so when you get into a bad situation, you know, your weak points really come up, you know, so it might be your attitude toward things, right? Or it could also be your body position, right? Like, instead of getting looser, you get tighter, or instead of complaining less, you complain more, like all of these things. And so that's something else to be grateful for, you know, is like, okay, this situation happened. And because it happened, you noticed that you had a poor attitude and you were able to change that, right? And because the conditions were not so great, you were riding tense. And now we get to speak on that and get better as riders. So yeah, pretty interesting. Let's not drink on the trails.
Yeah, I really like that. Yeah. Ride and life drinking game, but we prefer you do it after the podcast or after riding. You can do it during the podcast. Sober listeners only. No, please get drunk for the podcast. I'm sure it's much better. That is such an interesting analogy. I really, really love that. And there's two things in there that I really want to highlight is finding something to appreciate. So, you know, everything's happening for us. Everything's happening for us. So, like you said, when someone gets drunk and like maybe for anyone that's ever been around someone who gets drunk and there's that angry drunk comes out, right? I mean, you know, some of those baseline personality things kind of come out that we cover up consciously, and then someone gets a couple drinks in them or maybe some other substance, and you know, and there's like this underlying personality.
Yeah.
And you don't have to get drunk to get to that. Put yourself in a stressful situation, which mountain biking does for us all the time.
Yeah.
What are some of those underlying programs that are running? This fear, this anxiety, this lack of worthiness. And so when we start to get out of our flow state, what thoughts are there that are underlying? They're there all the time.
Yeah.
They're influencing us. We don't really necessarily, they're not serving us. And so mountain biking is a great way to see what some of these things are.
Yeah.
And shine a light on them and bring gratitude and say, okay, thank you. This isn't serving me anymore. I see it and I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
And then get into that flow state on the trails more, but also in life, you know, when you can get rid of some of those thoughts, those thought patterns that are so repetitive.
Yeah.
Really interesting analogy with the drinking.
Oh, thank you. All right.
Thank you, Joe. Our buddy Chris Garland commented on our e-bike debate, and he said that he had a conversation with a New York State Ranger at his local trails regarding why e-bikes are prohibited in some areas. And the feedback that Chris got was that it's hard to delineate between the electric pedal assist motor versus a regular electric dirt motor. So that if they allow e-bikes, then they would maybe have to allow all electric motors. And maybe that's a little, I thought that was an interesting angle we hadn't really discussed yet as far as why e-bikes aren't allowed at some of these trail systems.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not e-bikes they're trying to ban. It's the stronger electric dirt bikes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. It's at that fine line. It's like if you let one part of that in, then it's like, well, if you're going to let, pedal assist in, then why wouldn't you let blah, blah, blah. So if you just say no motors, then it's probably a lot easier. It's like a blanket, like, look, boom.
Yeah. I mean, if you say only hikers, it's easy for a ranger to see only hikers on the trail. If you say only hikers and bikes, it's easy for a ranger to say, okay, there's only hikers and there's only bikes at the trail, right?
Yeah.
No dirt bikes. That's pretty easy to tell. But if you start saying e-bikes and someone brings something with a throttle, I guess it gets a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, the e-bikes still look like bikes, though. That's the thing. They still look like mountain bikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas like a Sauron, right? It looks like a dirt bike.
Again, I don't know enough about all the different e-bikes and what they look like. The Surons definitely have a look to them. They definitely look like a mini moto. So I think it would be pretty easy to delineate. Yeah. But again, I have no idea. But what Chris says makes a lot of sense, Yeah. Yeah.
It does. All right. Well, thanks for the insight there, Chris.
Yes.
And happy birthday. He had a birthday recently and looked like he had like a mountain bike, an epic mountain bike park weekend to celebrate his birthday. I was very jealous.
Yeah.
Every ride looked better than the last. So that's awesome and a great way to celebrate your birthday. So we're also reviewing Fat Adapted, Fully Rested, and Cracking Eggs Mountain Bike Recovery Tips at Work, which was episode 10. Hilarious episode with my French.
Yes.
We asked for more French words and Shelly provided an entire French sentence. And I have tried to read this sentence in my head a million times and it just sounds awful. I'm just an American saying these words. Like, I mean, should I try to read it? I can tell you what it means in English, which is fantastic.
Okay.
In English, it translates to Danny, tell me you don't watch the World Cup downhill without telling me you don't watch the World Cup downhill. It's Benoit.
Bam. Enough said. Yes.
It's really really good. It's really good. I want to watch the World Cup. I feel like I just need to figure out where it is. Same thing with Hardline. Like I end up watching it on YouTube afterwards, but I know Hardline's like starting to come out this time of year. And I want to watch more of that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't watch that much TV in general, but the TV that I do watch, I want it to be mountain biking.
Yeah. I got to tell you, if you watch the UFC, that's funny, UCI, you will get pretty fluent in French because I got to tell you that the French really come on strong. I mean, the top 10 always has at least 3 or 4, if not more. I don't know what they're drinking over there in France, but it's been unbelievable. The other country that's really making great headway is the New Zealand, Australia, like that area, the down under scene. Those guys and gals are bringing it hard. It's been incredible. So yeah, I hope you get some time to watch some of that.
Ah, fantastic. Let us know if everyone's watching or where you're watching, or if you're not watching because it's hard to find, that sort of thing.
Expensive.
RideLife1 at Gmail. Oh, you got to pay for it? There's a paywall?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Of course. Well, all the subscription services I'm already paying for. I may as well pay for one that's at least supports something I like.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you paying Red Bull? Or is it something like that?
No, it's Whoop now or something like that. It's Whoop and somebody else. Yeah. The Red Bull. I don't know how.
Oh, the Whoop strap.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I don't drink Red Bull, I was so grateful that they would put on all these events. There's not many companies out there like Red Bull that were putting on these events consistently. It's not just mountain biking. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. As much as I don't really like the drinks.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to be really conflicted when they want to sponsor the pod. And I'm just going to be like, look, I can't promote the energy drink. I don't drink energy drinks, but we will absolutely wear stickers and take your money. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we also talked about fasting and nutrition and how you and I get fat adapted and how you and I eat and calories on a ride. And great listener Mark wrote in quite detailed. And if you go back and look at the YouTube comments, Sage and I respond to everything, and a lot of times there's really some great back and forth. And Mark's is the first comment. Sage pinned it. Mark, I responded to you twice, and for whatever reason, YouTube did not post it. I know we've had other listeners write into the Gmail and say, sometimes I respond to a comment and it doesn't go up. It's just a technology thing, I guess. Or Big Carb doesn't want my response getting out onto the internet. Big Gel. So my response was Mark is doing some like pretty epically long rides and races, in the 8 hour, the 12 hour, the 24 hour. And he's like, look, I can't get enough calories in during these rides. I'm in a calorie deficit. And if I didn't hit these carbs all the time, then I would start to really feel terrible. And furthermore, I can't do the whole food carbs like dates and figs because they're not calorie dense enough. And these rides are so long, I have to do the gels. I got to do the sugar drinks, and I understand that. And I am not saying, and if that works for you, that's fine. But I have heard some other stories about athletes that are going mega long distances and they are fat adapted and they can do the whole food because they're so fat adapted. They can do a lot less calories. They can eat whole foods or they can not eat at all. And there's a guy named at Instagram, it's at Sean_Sako, Sako, and Sean is Sean. And I followed him for a while, and he does experiments on himself, and he's a fat adapted athlete. He's a road rider. I think he's in South Africa. He does these mega long rides on super high consistency and pretty much fully fasted. And he pretty much just eats like steak afterwards. I mean, he's like crazy low carb.
Yeah.
And he's just got it now and he's doing it. So it's possible. So like how much of him is just, he's a superhuman, how much of that is that he's just a tremendous athlete and, versus what can us like regular people, can we dip in our toe into that superhuman side? What is the human body capable of? Because we're just taught that you have to eat. And I have another example of a superhuman that I was going to bring up, but I want to get your feedback first on Mark and Sean.
Well, first of all, I know Mark, and Mark is a tremendous athlete. I mean, this guy, I forget, he has some kind of a background or at least tons of experience, especially in the weightlifting world. And Mark is a fantastic person, as I just said. I had a different take, and I think my take is the purpose of that episode for me was just to open people up to a different way. And so, if you're someone like Mark and you're like, listen, I found this way and this way is working for me, then awesome. I think it's more about like, for me, totally. Danny, like I was struggling on my rides. I would bonk, like I would hit a certain point in the ride and I was just like, I would fade out. And you were like, listen, I do this thing. Why don't you try it? So I was open to trying something different because what I was doing wasn't working. And so there's two things. One, if you're curious, give this a shot. Two, if you're struggling, why not give this a shot? These are both very inexpensive options that have worked really well for us. We're saying instead of spend more money on supplements, we're saying actually cut them all out, and it's a little bit more money in the sense that we're asking you to eat real food. So less food, but real food. But like, it's, I don't know those are my two takes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Sorry, my phone's ringing.
Oh, it's Big Carb. Oh, snap. Big Carb chased you down.
Big Carb.
They knew it. They felt it.
Danny, before you make that next point, we're gonna slide an envelope across the table to you, and why don't you take a look at this? And I open it up, and it's just like, you could never make a YouTube comment again. Oh man. Yeah, so it's a really interesting point that I don't really want to argue with someone who says, hey, I found something that's working for me. That's not really what the point is.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do feel compelled to let people know that the popular narrative that's out there of you need to be on all the sugar and you need to be on all these gels in order to excel and win and be the strongest may not be true. Just question it. Is this true? Or is there a way that you can get like in between that, like, can you get more fat adapted and then not need all of this? Because I mean, the human body is just amazing. And what humans have done throughout history is amazing.
Ain't that the truth?
And, there's a lot of evidence that we weren't sucking down carbs, like, throughout our entire historical ancestry. That help me out here.
Like the Romans taking over the whole and they're all like,
they didn't have gels. Yeah, they were running marathons. They didn't have any gels. Well, I know there's arguments on both sides, but Mark, check out Sean Sako's Instagram and his Strava, because the dude's pretty inspiring. Again, is he just a one-off because he's such an elite athlete? And this is where I was going to bring up another French rider that my buddy AJ was telling me about. And this is, here we go, Mael Feron. Maybe?
Feron?
Mael Feron. It's Mael, second, and then last name is Feron. Mael, if I butchered it, I got a friend, you probably know Benoit. You guys can get together and talk about what a jerk this American is. Anyways, this dude raced the Mega Avalanche on his enduro bike. Okay, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
He decided that he wanted to ride to the top of the Mega Avalanche and then do the race, which was a 7.5 hour ride up to the top. And then he raced his Mega Avalanche and he came in 4th overall. Like, I mean, on an enduro bike, we talk about like which bikes to get for climbing, an XC bike or a trail bike, or, and I mean, what an absolute beast of an athlete. Unbelievable.
Lord. Yeah. I'm guessing that the announcer calling the race was really glad that they came in 4th so that he wouldn't have to pronounce that name.
Please keep the French off the podium. That's, if I was announcing this, I would just be like, please. I would be paying the Germans and the Americans. I would be sending steroids. Like, please, just keep the French off the podium. No, I'm rooting for the French. Benoit's my guy. That's my guy. He's a lanky. I got to root. Us lankies got to stick together. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, awesome stuff.
Yes.
Okay. We want to send out get well wishes to Ryan Butler. Just recently, Butler does it. He left an awesome Apple review, and if you're on Apple, please give us a 5-star review. Any of your podcast players and on YouTube, give us a 5-star review. And on Apple, you can leave a review, and those are really fun. They really help other listeners decide to give Ride and Laugh a chance. But they're also really fun to read on the podcast. And so we just read Ryan's awesome review of the podcast, and then it was yesterday. So by the time everyone's seeing this, he'll have a week of healing already. But he was on South Mountain at night and got attacked by a javelina, which are these little wild pigs that live out here. I had no idea they were aggressive. I don't know if this one had rabies or something, but it attacked him. It knocked him off his bike. He broke his arm. Some hikers helped him get to the hospital. And I just saw that he put that on Instagram. So Ryan, we are thinking about you and sending you love and healing. Get well soon, brother. That was tough to watch.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on Instagram as well. And yeah, Ryan, best of luck. I do want to reiterate, we have had plenty of people leave comments on Apple and not get attacked by javelinas. So please don't let that be the one thing that's holding you back from leaving a nice comment. Yeah.
I see how these guys convinced me to leave a review on Apple, and I'm getting attacked by a wild animal. Yeah. Yes. All right. If you left the Apple review and you were attacked by a wild animal, let us know in the comments. Let's see if there's a correlation going on here. Yeah. I mean, maybe we could start getting hunters to leave reviews. You know what I mean? Like the animals will come to you. Yeah.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
I left a review and I was attacked by a 12-point buck. Best kill of my life.
Jeez.
Finding appreciation in everything.
Oh boy.
Did you ever have a run-in with an animal on the trails, a snake or bear or anything?
I mean, I don't know, like a dog, maybe, I guess. But like, even then, like, even then, I've never had like
Oh
one
no,
attack me.
wild animal. Yeah, we all got dog stories.
Yeah, no, I've never have. I've seen them, but no, I've nope, not personally. How about you?
Never attacked, but certainly there's times when you see them, and I do feel like when I was doing my night rides, and my night rides were actually dawn rides. They were before the sun came up, when I was riding in the dark a lot, and I would do that at Wissahickon, and I would see the deer and the bucks, some very big animals. I remember like my light just shining on a buck that was just totally chilling in the trail, like to the animal, it doesn't know it's a trail, you know what I mean? And I'm coming through at whatever 6:15 in the morning, and this huge buck with the the whole antlers, the whole thing, unfurls from the trail and goes bounding off in the other direction. But it was big enough that I was like, wow, if that came at me, like that's bad news.
Yeah.
And when I was at Sunrise, all these different suns resort, the first time when we were climbing up that trail, Sunrise has the the lift to the top, and then you have to like ride to the second peak. I did see a mountain goat, a really big mountain goat, like kind of like bound away. That was pretty cool. But those are like good experiences where you see wild animals. To get attacked by something, I know there's a lot of rattlesnake stories here in the desert. Because you see them, and that's not a fun thing to see.
Yeah.
I got through rattlesnake season without really seeing too many on the trail or having a real incident, so I was really happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna have to like not be upset about the whole extra climb that you have to do up Sunset Ridge or whatever that's called, because after Feron's story, like that just seems pretty lame, dude. This guy's climbing 7 hours to get to the top of the mountain. You had to do like a 100-yard.
Yeah, my 30 minutes of riding. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, Mr. Feron.
Feron.
Oh, Feron.
Feron?
I was saying Feron. Oh boy. Oh
right.
boy. They're dropping like flies. Unscribe.
Shelly, let us know.
Yes, please. Oh boy.
All the French riders going to get together, and they're like, why do these guys keep talking about us? Like they can just not talk about us. They're doing this to themselves. Like I don't understand why they're making themselves sound so dumb. It's just like Americans.
Poo-poo.
Yeah. Oh. I almost said Grey Poupon. That's not even is that French?
I don't even think that's I don't know. Oh,
you're making all these dumb French sounds, and I'm like, mustard. Here we go with the mustard again.
Oh, mustard. That's right. Little callback. I like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat we'll get ride left mustard, a ride left mustard collaboration.
Whoa.
Huh?
Yes. Whoa. Hey, now reach out to us.
I like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. All right, Big Mustard. We're here. I mean, how many cool collaborations do you ever see with mustard? You know what I mean?
None.
We're here for it.
Yeah. The pickles do it.
You never. Yeah.
Yeah. Pickles do it all the time.
Wait, who works with Big Pickle?
Pickle juice. That's huge. That's a huge about like we were just talking about sucking down gels. Like there's a big pickle juice movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. But do you have someone in particular that like works with pickles?
No. What a funny question.
It's sponsored by pickles. You know what I mean? Like, can we get sponsored by pickles? Also want to shout out our friend Josh at Slanted Ground. We talk about Josh all the time. He's got awesome gear, so check out his website and his Instagram, but his YouTube channel is where it's at for instructional video. The dude just like really breaks it down.
Yeah.
And his latest episode that I watched and you watched, he had asked for people to submit videos of themselves, and he talks about different styles of riding, and he breaks down all these different riders, and he shows, what they're doing, and he has questions, and he's really funny the way that he does it as well.
Yeah.
But I am highlighted in there, and Sage is highlighted in there, and he talks about the Ride and Laugh podcast. So if you're not already following Slanted Ground, make sure you check it out and check out that latest episode. We'll put a link in the show notes if you want to see it. I'm like featured first, and Sage is like halfway through the video, but it's really good, and I enjoyed watching the whole thing. But I love Josh's content.
Yeah. That I hope that Josh at some point does a somewhat same format, but like you submit a clip and he'll break it down for you, like all the mistakes. Like this was a very kind video. Like he just was very like,
it was very kind.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but like, yeah, if he did like a video where people would submit something and he can point out like how they could have done it better, or here's where you're having a problem, dude, that would be epic. So Josh, I got plenty of clips for you.
Yeah. Well, for a while he had that program where you could send him videos and he would give you coaching. He would give you feedback.
Yeah.
He's given me great feedback. If you've been listening to the pod long enough, you know that he's given me jumping feedback and that sort of thing. Next time, I don't know if it's going to happen the next time I'm in Pennsylvania, but I would love to get a ride with Josh.
Yeah.
And get some of that like firsthand. First of all, I want to meet the guy because you know him, but I only have known him through the podcast, and I bought his gear and I wear his gear and his Instagram. And sometimes we feel like we know people because we see them on YouTube all the time.
Yeah.
And they're in the comments. And so you kind of have a kind of a relationship. I hope everyone feels that way about us, you listen to us every week and, you guys are all our friends, right and left. But check that out. And it's funny. He's a clever guy. He's got a really dry sense of humor, but I really like it. Listen, the things that he points out and the little comments that he makes on the side, I think are really funny. Tell me about the coaching certification, because I don't know where you want to start with this, but there's so much to learn. You had to do it on flat pedals. So there's a whole flat pedal angle. You went in kind of like, all right, I know I want to mountain bike coach. I'm gonna go for it. You felt really good about the decision. And in my mind and in your mind, it was a beginner level coaching. And you're an advanced rider. And it was like, okay, this is just the perfunctory, like he's got to pay the money and go through the motions to get the certification and it'll be a piece of cake. And it wasn't that. Yeah. What was your experience?
Well, first of all, let me say a quick shout out to Shelly, Jess, and Heather, who are all coaches in this local area. I peppered them with questions and they were able to give me tons of links and advice, and they were just such a great support system. And so I do want to shout them out. I'll leave their links in the description below here. But thank you so much to those three people. They were absolutely fantastic. But you're right, Danny. We were just talking with about Josh and you had just mentioned like getting recognized and like people kind of know you. And the fact that this was at Mountain Creek, right in front of like the lift going up. Oh my goodness, was I so self-conscious, and that played a big role.
So it was in a field.
It was in a field underneath the lift.
A field.
Yeah.
You weren't riding bike park trails. You were just like working in a field, and they had it at the bike park for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And so you're just like in front of the lift in a field.
Yes.
Riding in grass.
Yeah.
Just to paint the picture for everyone. He wasn't riding downhill downhill bike park trails.
No.
It was cones in the grass.
Yes.
And everyone's coming off their rides and looking at you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you don't want to be recognized.
I did not want to be recognized because I struggled so hard, Danny, and I couldn't believe it. And I think a lot of it had to do with all this like built up expectation, like, oh, I've been riding for 18 years. I know how to mountain bike and I'm going to be able to breeze through this. And that was not the case. I was deeply humbled, so much so that on day one, I contemplated not going through with the rest of the coaching. That's how poorly I was doing. I literally said, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. And that at that moment that I had that thought, I followed that up immediately with, how about you stop saying, I know how to do this, and how about you just actually start listening? And the minute that I did that, the day two went in and I had a much better day, and it was eye-opening on many levels, because this is a beginner course to teach beginners. So the idea was you had to be proficient at the things that you were going to be coaching. And my goodness, Danny, I couldn't do the simplest, easiest things. It was really embarrassing on many levels.
What was hard for you? Because I've ridden behind you and with you for many, many years, and you're an awesome rider. When you say I couldn't do these beginner level skills, like what could you possibly struggle with?
I think that the biggest issue that I ran into was I'm at the point where I'm doing these advanced features and all kinds of stuff on the trail, and I like to be a dynamic rider, but to be a dynamic rider, that comes with experience. And what they're teaching you in a beginner class isn't to be dynamic. I mean, think about how confusing that would be to a beginner rider if you're like, okay, we're gonna get up here, and we're gonna move here, and then it's like, okay, let's pick a position.
It's confusing to me.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like someone explaining how to ride in French to me. Like
yeah.
I'm making diamonds over here.
Yeah. So the way that they design the courses is it's let's pick a position that's going to work for everybody. Like a lot of it was like, let's get low and we're going to stay low and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, let's hinge at the elbows when we make this turn. And it's like, let's do that. And I can't break these habits of like, well, this is how I've been doing it. Now I got to do it this way. And I really struggled with breaking that habit, because it's like, okay, I'm going to just do it my way. Or a lot of it in my head was just like a very like, not arrogant isn't the right word, but it was like, no, listen, I know how to do this. Step aside. Let me show you how to do this, you know? And it was like, that's the wrong attitude. It's the wrong attitude. Let's be open. Let's be open to receive. You know, that just doesn't happen at a coach's clinic. Like that's happened to me on the trail. You know, someone's trying to give me advice and I'm like, listen, I got this, Laura, you know, I got this, Eric, step aside. Let me show you how it's done, you know? And then I totally screw it up, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's hard to be open, you know, completely open.
Yeah. How many times are we listening to someone speak and in our minds just being like, blah, blah, blah. I know. I got it. All right. Yeah. Thanks. But I'm actually pretty good at this already. So, but
right.
Yeah, you went in like the what you explained from day one to day two, that open to receive of, I have an expectation that I already know how to do this. It's going to be a piece of cake, and then struggling and resisting and suffering and then noticing that.
Yeah.
So, you know, like now you're working on appreciating things, you're working on finding gratitude, and you're noticing these thoughts that aren't serving you. And so at the end of the day, as you're contemplating, do I even want to do this? Well, wait a second.
Yeah.
I'm resisting. I'm suffering.
That's right.
What if I approach it this way? And to do that in a day, to do in a week, in a month, like however long that takes, but that's awesome. You noticed, and then you come back day two and you're open, and now you're learning, and now there's things now you're receiving. So getting back to the skills, learning the beginner level skills, stripping down everything you knew and learning the beginner level skills the way that they want you to learn them and teach them.
Yeah.
Does that apply to your riding? Or do you just go back to just being the regular dynamic rider that you are and like, okay, thanks. Now I know how to teach beginners, but I'm not going to use that myself.
100% additive.
Was there stuff in there for you?
Yeah. What a great question. This was 100% additive. And I was fortunate enough to have, my coach's name was Anson, and he was an incredibly talented rider. I mean, he's riding with pros, and he was listing off the trails that he's ridden. And I was just like, oh my Lord, you know, like, he's like so accomplished. So the fact that he's utilizing these skills in his riding made it like comfortable for me to swallow, apply. And I left that course a better person, but also a better rider. And it is so much so, Danny, that I decided to leave my flats on after the course was done. I've gotten them like 2 or 3 rides since that was a couple of weekends ago. I've left my flat pedals on, and it's changed the way that I ride for the better, Danny, for the better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So many questions. So, okay. So you had to, the course demanded flat pedals. You weren't allowed to clip in right? You had to change over.
That's right. Yeah.
And running shoes.
No,
your tip of the week was running shoes.
I know. The week before I was going to do this course, I wore one of my running shoes with Shelly to one of our local trail systems. It's like, I gotta get comfortable riding flats. And
you put flat pedals on, you wore the running shoes.
I did.
What happened?
And this is why the running shoe is not a good idea, because I tore right through the sidewall of the running shoe. And so, while it works really well at the Phoenixville Bike Park, which is a very controlled environment, you know, when you're out on the trails, that's where the running shoe is not very proficient. It doesn't work well. And I think we got a little bit of that feedback from Steve at Ben Spokes, who tried my running shoe idea. He took it out to Ceres, which is his local trail system. He was like, yeah, this is not a good idea. But my point was, it was good for the Phoenixville Bike Park for jumping, you know, like doing stuff on the DJ. So,
right.
But yes, yeah. I wore regular mountain bike shoes, my Airwalks, which I found out they were Tevas. They weren't even Airwalks.
Oh, all these years. Okay, so would you say that this beginner level mountain bike course would be good for advanced level riders who maybe haven't taken a mountain bike course or haven't done that in a really long time? Like, what you're telling me, the things that you learned and you're applying to your riding, and you're excited to be a better rider learning these things. And I'm like, I can't wait to see you, and I want you to give me a class.
Yeah.
I want to get that instruction. So is there, I mean, should listeners that have been riding for a long time, like, be thinking about mountain bike instruction in a different way based on your experience here?
I would say that if you've never had a mountain bike instruction class, then yeah, there are some serious benefits. The things that I struggled with were the positions and the speed. You know, we're having to do this in a really controlled state. So you can't, like, you know how you can cheat some things by just going faster? It makes things like a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It was the opposite.
Yeah.
It was like, let's do this really slow. You know, so there was one, this is like getting into the weeds here, but like there was one where it was like, what you and I call attack position, they were calling low ready. And so we'd have to get into a low ready position and then hinge the bike back and forth, you know, side to side at a really slow pace. And keep a straight line. I can't tell you how much I struggle with that. It was unbelievable. But once I got better,
bike body separation,
exactly. And, you know, but once I got proficient at that, I was like, I can easily see how this would be very helpful on the trail. And it is, you know, so it's like not assuming that we know how to do these things, but actually doing them, you know. And I don't know that you'd need a course to teach you how to do that if you're already an experienced rider. But hey, next time you're out on the trail, try and take some of your techniques, slow them down, and see if you could still do them, you know, and really exaggerate the movement. I think you'll be surprised at how difficult it can be.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very curious about that. You know, I know slow speed is the slower, the more comfortable I am. Like slow speed.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
your jam.
That's my comfort level. Yes. I need to get comfortable doing those things at speed. But
yeah,
at the same time, I just think it's fascinating that you're learning beginner level skills. And I know the type of rider that you are. And listeners, if you haven't watched the YouTube, or if you've never ridden with Sage, he's a really good rider.
Oh, thanks. Timmy.
And, you know, double black tech trails, jump trails, like you do it all. And when I was talking to you after these classes, first of all, you were exhausted, and how much work you put in.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, there are full days of instruction and practice, and not just learning the skills, but how to do the instruction.
How to coach it.
Which
I
know, how to coach it, which I know you're going to be excellent at, because that's what led you to this path in the first place, is that you love doing that and you connect with people. We have a podcast, you have a channel, like it's just, that's what you're passionate about. So I have no doubt that you're going to hit a home run on that part.
Thanks.
But yeah, the amount of work that you put into this, and the amount of fatigue that you had at the end of the day, and practicing for a couple hours, you know, afterwards, and getting up early to practice beforehand. It was a legitimate amount of work. And then talking to you afterwards about how much gratitude you have for the experience. There was the resistance in the beginning, and then going with the flow, and then just like, oh, I'm learning skills here that I can apply. And it just sounds like a home run of a weekend, man. I'm so stoked for you. I can't wait to hear what your coaching plans are. We can start talking about that on the podcast. Do you want to get into that a little bit? Like, do you have a vision, or do you want to respond to anything else I said about the coaching?
Yeah, the coaching is going to be a slow burn for me, because, you know, there's not only was that weekend expensive, but like and this is where Jess, Shelly, and Heather were so crucial to, because I was able to ask them, how much is insurance? Blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of expenses. And so I don't want to just jump into coaching and be like, oh, I can do this. Like, I got to build it up slowly. I think the point that I'm going to emphasize to myself is I've been light switching everything in my life. It's like when I decide to do something, you know, it's like I'm 100% going into it. And my buddy Anthony was like, listen, how about we don't light switch the coaching? And this relates to my life, and I think a lot of people will be able to relate to it. How about we ease into it, right? And let's be open to what's coming to us. And that's what I'm going to do. When someone asks me if I am a coach, I can say yes now. and let's go from there instead of like starting to make shirts and logos. Let's ease into it. So that's my idea with the coaching. That's going to be my new ideal in life, Danny. I'm just going to try and take life a little bit more slowly. Let's appreciate what's in front of us. And I don't want to take anything for granted anymore,
Yeah, I love that. I think, and I know this in my life to be the case, and I think that I can speak for you as well, that we are the certain types of our personality that when you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do now, then you're just like, you leave intuition, you leave presence, and you go into thought.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. And you just like start getting into the structured, like, for me, it's very easy. I'm a very structured person. Like I wake up, I'm going to go for a walk, I'm going to work out, I'm going to ride, and then I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to sit down and do some work. And then we're going to do a podcast. And, and when you get like that locked into these mindsets, you lose that like stillness, that quietness of intuition, like you lose that ability to just receive. And so when we just kind of allow everything to come to us first, and then you're going to start getting direction. You're going to start having people ask you, or something's going to happen in your life that just kind of like starts nudging you in a certain way. I just feel like that intuition is often very quiet. It's always there. It's always peaceful. It's always ready for us. And our busy minds overwhelm it. But if we relax that, then there's flow there. And does that go with mountain biking or what?
Yeah, we talked about
like that life and mountain biking, the synchronicities.
We talked about that with your anxiety that you were having with desert trails. And it was like, instead of thinking that I'm going to go to desert trails, which is a local bike park for you, instead of thinking like, oh, I'm going to go here and I have to do these jumps. How about we just say, my goal isn't to go to that park to do the jumps. Like, so you're visualizing the jump, but we're not saying we're going to do it. Let's just get there and let's see what happens. And then you go there and you meet a Colin, or you go there and you meet someone that is also struggling, and we can share insights together, but you're getting yourself there and being open to it. We're not saying we're going to do the jump. I'd like to do the jump. I'm going to visualize it, but we're not going there with the intention of doing it. We're just going to let it happen.
Well, our best riding is when we're just present. Yes. And the skills are in there. Yep. Like Joe said in his comment earlier, right? Just relax into it. Stop gripping the roller coaster handle so hard. Like let go.
Yes.
And trust that you got this. We have the skills to do this. And same thing with life. Yeah. We're gonna trust. And so riding a bike, to get into that flow zone, we're letting go of all those thoughts, letting go of expectation. Yeah. Let's just see what happens. And then we start doing that in life. Let's just see what happens. And not only do things work out better, it's just a much more pleasant way to live.
Yeah.
You're present, you're flowing, you're loving, you're peaceful. It's just really nice. So rideandlaugh1@gmail.com, YouTube comments about Sage's coaching and flowing and being present. Any questions that you have, that's what we're here for. That's what Ride and Laugh is.
Danny, I just, before we exit out the conversation, I do want to say thank you to Anson, who was my coach. Just a fantastic gentleman. If you get a chance to do one of these courses, he was unbelievable. I also want to say thank you to all my fellow coaches that were out there, coaches in training. We had Jeff, we had Joe, we had Alice, we had Kai, and none of them made me feel bad with how bad I was. I think I struggled the most out of all of them. It was like that day one. Wow. It was like, Coach Anson was like, do it again. Like I just couldn't do it. And none of them made me feel bad about it. They were all fantastic people. And I got some lifelong friends out of it. So thank you guys. It was an amazing experience. Yes. They're coaches. Yes.
They're coaches.
Yes.
Yeah. Like you're there doing it with people that love helping people, you know, like what a better environment. I looked at Anson's Instagram and dude, absolute shredder. Yeah. Like if someone's going to teach me, and they look like that, then they ride like that, then I'm listening. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I actually did everybody a favor because like you're not going to have a student that was worse than me. So you're welcome, everyone, coaches in training. I was the worst student.
We set the bar. We crash so you don't have to. We set the bar low so that you look better. We're here for you, everybody.
Oh boy.
Hey, this is not a course that you just take and they take your money and you pass it. This is not that kind of course.
Right.
Not everybody passes this course.
That's right.
This is a really difficult course, and to pass is legitimate. This company takes it very seriously who they give that certification to.
Yeah.
And so you passed it, and all your friends that weekend passed it. So great job by Anson instructing.
Yeah.
And great job by all of you, and great job, Sage, for passing it. And you're a legitimate mountain bike coach right now. And I just can't, so much abundance is coming to you and to us and to the podcast and to everyone that is here listening. We're all progressing together, and Sage is now a coach. We have a coach on the podcast. So just, riding better and better and having more fun on the trails, flowing more in life. It's what we're here for. I'm so excited. I think this is a great move. I love the story of your weekend, the ups and downs, and eventually going with the flow and excelling and learning. And now you're riding flat pedals. And so now we have a whole other topic to get into of clips versus flats. And that's actually something that Josh at Slanted Ground asked, because my video in his video is a step up.
Right. Yep.
And he says, Dan, could you do this without clips? And I don't know. I don't think so, but I would like to be able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a different conversation. We're running a little bit long.
Yeah.
Let's get into our mountain bike gratitudes of the week.
Yes. You were just talking about abundance, and my gratitude is pretty simple, but it's very important. And my gratitude, I think I had this once before, but this was absolutely important to me. I would not have been able to do this without the support of my Patreon members. So thank you guys. I mean, that it was a pretty big financial investment to do all that. The course costs money, the hotel, the food, the gas, the tolls, all of it. And it doesn't happen without my Patreon members. So thank you so much. I love you guys.
So Sage is referring to his TrailSage Patreon members.
Oh
Ride and
gosh,
Last does not have a Patreon yet.
Take me off the marketing team, please.
I'm here for you, Sage. Don't worry.
Thank you.
If you like the TrailSage channel and you enjoy his content, and you want to support Sage, then join his Patreon. It really makes a big difference.
Yeah,
and that's what you're expressing, that,
yeah.
When you go out and you support whoever you're supporting on Patreon, or if you're buying, Josh's shirts from Slanted Ground, any of these like small creators, I love supporting that sort of thing. We talk about all the subscription services we have and all that sort of thing. $5 a month here, $10 a month here. Well, with some of them, like TrailSage, it's making a really big difference in someone's life, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I will.
Excellent gratitude.
I will hug you no matter how sweaty you are. Dennis, thank you for being a Patreon member. I was like, yeah, bring it in.
Oh,
bring it in. Yeah.
All right.
Unlimited sweaty
We're
hugs.
swapping DNA. You should put that in. You should put that in as one of the perks of being a Patreon member. Yeah. Hugs no matter what. Unlimited hugs. Well, we love giving a hug, so
yes, we do.
I think it's great. I would have hugged Dennis too.
Yes.
I think. Yeah. I think I would have. Yeah.
You would have looked at me first, like,
bring it in.
Should we hug?
Yeah.
Was it bad? Yeah.
Maybe we'll bring a towel with us, next time. But normally you're both sweaty.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's like it shouldn't be one person sweaty and the other person isn't. That was a unique situation.
That's right.
Where he was riding and you were already cooled off. Yeah. Yeah. So. All right. Well, my mountain bike gratitude of the week starts with a bit of a calamity. Me and some of the fellas rode north to Prescott to get out of the heat, and there's a really cool trail system there called Bean Peaks, which is you pedal up, and let me tell you, the uphill pedal on this thing was the best climbing trail I've ever been on in my life. It felt like it had almost as much downhill as up. Like it's just one of those. They was just so well designed that you have a little bit of. You go up a little bit and then you go down a little bit. And there's little side kickers, and I had no problem with it. I could have climbed that trail all day. And then there's all these different flow trails that you can ride down. Not usually my preference, but they had some jump trails and it seemed like it'd be fun and the guys were going, so let's do it.
Yeah. And
we really just did a couple of warm up laps before I got to like the really fun jump trails. I'm on one of these laps and it's a flow trail. It's the beginning of the trail. And there's a berm that's barely even a berm. And for whatever reason, my derailleur decided to just commit suicide, harikari, as you would say in Japanese. How do you say it? You say it sounds cooler when you say it.
Harakiri.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Way off.
Not that French. Yeah. How do you say that in French? Well, I'm not gonna repeat it because I'll ruin it. But my derailleur, just like on a flow trail, something happened where some sort of rock hit it at just the right time, and it just got it sucked into my wheel. Of course, broke some spokes and just got completely mangled. And that was it. It was Dunzo's. And I'm at the top of the trail, and it was a pretty long climb. And I was like, I guess I'm walking down. And my gratitude goes to Thomas and Arturo, who were with me, who immediately jumped into action. These guys are mechanically inclined and know what they're doing. I'm not and don't. And they ripped the derailleur off and they single speed my bike. And I'm able to ride it to the bottom at least instead of having to walk.
Yeah.
And I just really, really appreciate that. We all have those mountain bike friends that are, good with the tools and understand what they're doing. And like Thomas is like, dude, we're getting you down the mountain. Like there's no way that you're walking. Like we're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
And just that attitude, like those are good people. They're good mountain bike people. Mountain bikers are awesome, good friends. Yeah. I really appreciate that. It was a frustrating end to my day, but instead of just like wallowing in it and being annoyed and pissed, it was just like, okay, this happened. I wasn't supposed to run any more laps, and let me just enjoy the rest of my day. Let me just stay in the moment, and maybe I would have gotten hurt. Maybe something, who knows what could have happened or would have happened. And there's a little bit more to the story as far as like everything kind of working out for me. And I'll tell that on a different podcast, perhaps. Okay. But you really just like letting go and being like, hey, everything's happening for me.
Yeah.
Don't resist. Like, there's really no point in me being angry now. That doesn't add to the situation at all.
Yeah.
Even though I was frustrated and I had my moment for sure. If you watch the video and you have the sound on, it's like, what the F? Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it did. Relax. And thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Arturo. And everybody that was on the ride with me that day. AJ was out on the ride, and we met Chris, and we had a really good time. And I still had a great day with friends. We had a ton of laughs. It was still really fun. So gratitude. I appreciate everybody. And a special thanks to Thomas and Arturo for hooking me up.
Right on. Yeah. I do know that there are plenty more gratitude instances that came out of that story, but so I can't wait to hear more about it. I am grateful that you did not get hurt, because I've seen some derailleurs get sucked into the wheel, and whoa boy. Yep. Yeah. And when that happens, goes into my mountain bike tip of the week. And that has to do with something that happened at the coach's training, and also could have helped Dennis when he got attacked by the wild animal. And that is first aid training. If you can, Ryan, who did I say? Who did I say? Holy crap. Yes. Ryan.
Dennis didn't get attacked by a wild animal.
Oh boy.
He hugged you. He hugged me. You hugging a sweaty Dennis is not an analogy for a wild animal. Yeah, Dennis does not appreciate that. Now he warned you. You hugged him anyway. Now you call him a wild animal? What kind of BS is this? That was not fair.
It was a bear hug. All right. So in my defense, it was a bear hug. Yeah.
All right.
But no,
I don't know which of you was the bear.
Well, I guess. Well, I'm a pretty small. I'm a pretty tiny, small Asian man. So we'll go with Dennis was the bear. Yeah. No. While we were doing the coaches seminar, which is right underneath the lift, there's a infamous drop there, a drop that I actually got hurt on, the phantom drop or the patio drop. And lo and behold, man, we're doing the coaches training, and somebody goes off this thing, and we just hear this horrible like sound. Oh, no. Yeah. And this gentleman completely knocked himself out, and to the point where it was just like you get that like the moaning, that weird moaning of like you can't breathe and just out cold. Alice had her first aid training. She was one of my fellow coaches. She ran right up there and knew exactly what to do. Had him stabilized. We waited for the paramedics to come and everything, but she was like on top of it, Danny. It was impressive to watch. And man, like if you have the opportunity to have first aid training, you never know when that's going to come in handy. Look at Dennis, getting attacked by that wild animal. and had those hikers, had some first aid training. Ryan, that's it. I'm out.
Well, at least in that case, you were the wild animal. You didn't call Dennis the wild animal at that time.
Yes. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, you get my point. First aid training is really important. So, yep.
Yeah, that's a cool thing to know, to be able to help out, whether it ends up being yourself, but more likely a friend, having some idea of, depending on how proficient you get in the first aid training. I've had CPR training a long time ago, but just knowing what to do in an emergency that's going to, probably come in handy. We do a sport that's pretty dangerous. So having someone in the group that's got some first aid training, maybe we can all like pool our resources and be like, okay, all right, John, you're going to be our first aid training guy.
That's right.
We'll get you. But that's cool. For anyone that's, on the fence or thinking about getting some first aid training, go for it, because helping people is what it's all about.
Yeah.
So I love it. Great tip. I hope that person was okay, and excellent job by your friend. Would you say her name was that had the first aid training? And
Alice.
Alice, excellent job, Alice. Like, you got the training and then you were on point to be able to help out. And that's pretty cool for a coach to also have first aid training.
It's required. Yeah. So I have to go get my first aid certification.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you're going to have it as well.
I will.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be ready for all the wild animals. Are we going to ride? Maybe we should get Ryan to ride with like a spear. So next time, next time there's a wild pig, he's stabbing that thing, and we're eating bacon instead. He's like, "Why are you gaslighting me that I should have killed the animal? It attacked me. This isn't fair." And apparently, that javelina meat doesn't taste very good, from what I understand.
Very coarse meat, yeah. Mm.
Maybe with right and left mustard and some right and left pickles, maybe we get we gotta find that javelina. We gotta find that thing and we gotta kill it. And we gotta make some bacon and and bring mustard and bacon and pickles to Ryan's house. We gotta eat that thing. And I bet you his healing will just skyrocket if you eat the soul of the animal that attacked you.
You are on your own, my friend.
Does this make any sense?
No, you are on your own, my friend, because that javelina obviously had rabies, and I ain't eating no animal with rabies. So you are welcome to that. Yeah. Yes.
All right, Ryan. Maybe we'll just send you some bacon from the store and we'll just reenact it.
There you go.
All right. If you're still listening, you're definitely one of us. You got a good sense of humor. You love mountain biking. You love talking about bikes. You love riding bikes. Please rate and subscribe on your podcast player. Yes. Please give us a review on Apple. Please thumbs up on the YouTube and watch to the end and add a comment and tell your friends. And if you want to give us a super thanks, we're here for a little bit of income. That would be awesome to help pay the bills and keep the lights on. Everyone, we appreciate you. Have a great week of riding. Ride left.
I'll see you, everybody.